Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. There were some big key issues in the 9.8 that just sold on Comic Link over the weekend. So just want to go through those sales prices. I got 23 completed listings in a 9.8 to talk about, and all the prices are in US dollars we'll go through. So first one up is an all-new Marvel Now 0.1 number 1 from 2014, this one. It's a first full appearance of Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, the new Miss Marvel. This one had sold for $950 in a 9.8. So it kind of sounds expensive, but I'd recommended this one on a few videos about a year ago, and it's a really tough one in a 9.8 for a modern comic book. It's got a 9.8 ratio that's, I'm pretty sure it's in the low 20s. I didn't look this morning, but it is a really tough one in the 9.8. When we did those videos, they were about, $750, but I remember like shortly after they kind of added a few other $100, and I think this one's been around sort of $950 to $1,000 for a good amount of time. It's been hanging in there. And I think it's, it's absolutely the one to get if you're a big Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel fan. So $950 this one's selling for. Maybe if you get lucky, be a little patient, you get it under $900. Would be a pretty phenomenal price for a all-new Marvel Now. 0.1, number 1, a tough 9.8, that one. Next one is an Alias number 1, first appearance of Jessica Jones. This is a big first appearance that's got a lot of potential, I think. An Alias one in a 9.8 going for $400. This is one that certainly heated up when that Netflix show was out, but it really cooled down after that. And I remember recommending it on a couple like cold list videos we did about a year or so ago. And they were about $200, $225 during that time, and cooling down from the Netflix show. But there's been off and on kind of rumors like maybe they would introduce Jessica Jones into the MCU, and I think that would be fantastic. I think the actress did a great job. So there's some potential with this one. Yeah, an Alias number 1, if you're a big Jessica Jones fan, you probably want to consider this one if you don't have it, right around $400. I've saw quite a few of them sell pretty much right around $400. So if you can get a little under $400 would be a pretty screaming deal on that one. Next one's an Amazing Spider-Man number 194, first appearance of Black Cat, Felicia Hardy. Huge key issue that if you can afford in the 9.8, it's one to target for sure. A couple newsstands selling, $4,400 and $4,850. And, the difference between these two was really in the coloring. I found that, the colors were a little dimmer on the 4,400, really nice colors on the 4,850. So sometimes you'll see that price range on 9.8 comics based on like the colors and the centering. Next one, an Amazing Spider-Man 210, first appearance of Madam Web. This is one I really wanted to pick up, and maybe based on this price, I'm kind of hitting myself that I didn't. One had sold for $2,051. And, when I was trying to pick this up, I was definitely trying to get it under $1,000. This would have been over a year ago. And, a few going over $1,000 I thought was pretty expensive at that time. But then, back then, I know there was during some Marvel announcement that happened before COVID where they were talking about a Madam Web show that could happen. I don't even think that's going to happen anymore, but this one is just a great cover, I would say. Yeah, awesome first appearance of Madam Web with a fantastic cover just to enjoy. So kind of not surprising that it is trending up. Yeah, $2,051 one going for in a direct edition. Next one, an Amazing Spider-Man 238, first appearance of Hobgoblin. One selling in a direct on this Comic Link auction for $3,090. We had just documented one that went for kind of $2,900 on at eBay. Pretty great looking direct edition in a 9.8 as well. So these are kind of kicking around $3,000, and this is a single digit 9.8 ratio, a tough one in a 9.8. First appearance of Hobgoblin, probably the best cover of the era as well. So right around $3,000, hopefully a little under $3,000 would be a pretty great deal on an Amazing Spider-Man 238 in the 9.8 direct edition. Amazing Spider-Man 252, next ones that had sold. Yeah, I told you a lot of just huge, awesome key issues that had sold on this Comic Link auction. A couple newsstands for Amazing Spider-Man 252, $2,350 and $2,299. The $2,299 was in an old case. That's, I think, price targets to aim for pretty much with the direct edition. There was a direct edition as well on this Comic Link auction selling for $2,000. So the newsstand's just getting, $300-400 more than the direct, which kind of seems like a pretty solid deal, I think. So kind of, maybe on the direct edition you can aim a little under $2,000 if you want to kind of be strategic on that one. But for the newsstands, $2,350, $2,299, I think are price targets to aim for. That's a pretty solid one in a newsstand for sure. All around a pretty solid one, absolutely. Next one is one I do have, Amazing Spider-Man $2.98. Saw one sell in a direct edition, whereas on the last price video we saw a newsstand one of this one go for $5,000 in a 9.8. Just goes to show you how these late 80s books are really tough to find in a newsstand in the high grade. So newsstand went for $5,000. The direct edition $851. So you know, if you wanted $2.98 and your budget's not, you know, astronomical, you can kind of look at one of these for or no, what was it, $750? Did I say $850? If I said $850, it's $750 this one had sold for. Amazing Spider-Man $2.98, 9.8 on these Comic Link auctions for $750. I think that's a price target to aim for in a direct edition for the first Todd McFarlane Spider-Man art. It's just one-to-one if you're a McFarlane fan, for sure. Next one, Amazing Spider-Man $2.99. That great cameo of Venom, that one's selling for $851 in this Comic Link auction. Yeah, this is one we've talked about recently, and it is a pretty solid deal. It's looking decent on the census, and that Venom cameo is fantastic. And for less than $1,000, that's making a lot of sense on an Amazing Spider-Man $2.99 in a 9.8, $851. I think that's a price target to aim for. Okay, next one, I do have a couple Amazing Spider-Man 300s in a 9.8 had sold on these Comic Link auctions. Let's have a look here. $5,400 one went for. $5,201 another went for. And in kind of a new case with the like Venom decal on the case and everything. That one, it was looking pretty good too, the book itself. Went for $5,605. So, you know, this one after that Let There Be Carnage movie kind of dipped below $5,000 for a little bit, but then one had sold about a month ago for $6,100. That one looked really nice, admittedly. You know, the colors were just pretty spectacular on that one, over $6,000. These three, $5,400, $5,201, $5,605. That's giving you a great range on this one to kind of aim for if you're in the market for an Amazing Spider-Man 300. It's one of the toughest 9.8s in the 1980s. Origin and first full appearance of Venom. So kind of $5,200 to $5,600 is the price range you want to aim for if you want an Amazing Spider-Man 300 in a 9.8. Okay, Amazing Spider-Man 361 in a newsstand edition, the next one, selling for $975. So we're seeing some strength in the newsstand edition for Amazing Spider-Man 361 in the past like month or two. I think, you know, I was almost, you know, maybe hit myself. I should have been a little more aggressive in recommending this when it had sort of fall down to about $700, $750. I saw a couple newsstand editions in the 9.8 sell, and this was kind of that lull after the Let There Be Carnage movie. You always want to, you know, look out for, you know, the lull after the movies on some of the prices on some of these key issues. This one definitely did lull, a few going for $750. The last few I saw sell were like, I think it was $900, and then this one for $975. So maybe this one's bouncing back, and that, you know, $750 level. I did sort of nonchalantly say, like, it's probably, like, if you're a big Carnage fan, you can get in there at $750, but I really should have probably just said, like, okay, now's the time to buy. It's really pulling back. But adding a couple $100 already, we'll see. Yeah, I kind of have a feeling that one could kind of stick around $1,000, but we'll see on that one. But a newsstand for first full appearance of Carnage going for $975. Amazing Spider-Man 365, first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. This one sold for $325 in a direct edition. This is a pretty solid price recently for this one. Yeah, I think, you know, that Across the Spider-Verse kind of teasers kind of came out, and people were thinking that Spidey 2099 could be in the movie. And I remember seeing some pretty hefty prices on this one during that period, which was just like a month or two ago, to be honest. So, yeah, I think they were a little over $400 occasionally then. Now cooling off a little closer to around $300 is probably a price target to aim for if you're in the market for an Amazing Spider-Man 365. I saw an Amazing Spider-Man number 4, When Cindy Moon Becomes Silk, the Ramos variant sell in an auction. Yeah, cool to get a recent price on this Ramos variant in an auction for $901. That's a pretty solid price. I think that's a price target to aim for. Maybe you can get it in the 800s. This is one that's kind of been slowly but steadily trending up. And it makes a lot of sense, I think, because the Amazing Spider-Man number 4 in the first print, there's like so many of them. It's not a tough 9.8 at all, so it makes sense to go after the variant. And this one's selling for $901. Next one's an Avengers Annual number 10, first appearance of Rogue and Madeline Pryor on this one. This key issue has been on a tear pretty much. Not a big fan of the cover, to be honest. Rogue's awesome, but I've never really wanted this one that much to kind of pay up for this one. But an Avengers Annual 10, and a 9.8 selling for $1,525. Yeah, that's kind of right around, I think, the fair prices of where they're going for recently. If you're really patient on this one, maybe you get it kind of 1,250 area. But 1,525, probably a decent price if you're a Rogue fan and if, you know, the colors are looking great and it's a nice centering on it. Okay, let's get into the Batman books. Quite a few big Batman key issues selling on this Comic Link auction, luckily. Batman 357, yeah, I talked about this one recently. First appearance of Jason Todd and Killer Croc in a 9.8 white pages selling for $700. $700 for a Batman 357, I think is a pretty phenomenal price, to be honest. Yeah, we went over that one where it compares really well to a Batman The Dark Knight Returns. It's a tougher 9.8. There's less 9.8s out there. So it's a great value. And $700 is, yeah, pretty a price target to aim for, I would say, on a Batman 357. Next one I do have, luckily, just a great one, Batman 366. So I got a direct edition in a 9.8 as well for this one, but this one is the newsstand edition. Whenever I can bring up my newsstand edition in Batman 366, any excuse to bring it out is worth it for me. One I really love. Love this Walt Simonson Joker cover as well. So this one in a direct edition, admittedly, in a 9.8, sold for $396. And that's pretty great. There was a recent completed listing on this one that sold, I think it was like for $275 at eBay. And it was someone on the team had picked that one up. So that's looking like a phenomenal buy, to be honest, at $275. This one going for $396 in a direct edition 9.8. And yeah, my newsstand's looking good now these days. I believe I paid $269.99 US dollars for this one like 3 years ago or something like that. So with the directs going for $396, I think the newsstand's going to be getting up there now. But Batman 366, when Jason Todd gets in the Robin costume for the first time, plus a great Joker cover, I think under $400 for a Batman 366 is just a phenomenal 9.8 collector item for sure. The next one, Batman 404. Pretty solid price for Batman 404, given that the Batman movie's out and, you know, Robert Pattinson's like a young Batman, so there's a lot of kind of year one vibes. Batman 404 9.8 going for $243. Yeah, I saw this one kind of get up around that 300 level, so I think under 250 right now, you know, kind of leading into the Batman movie or the weekend of the Batman movie. Pretty phenomenal price, I think. Yeah, if you want a Batman 404, a nice looking one, kind of just a little under 250 is a price target to aim for. Year one, part one on that one. I got two in a 9.8 and one in a CBCS 9.8 for that one, yeah. Just, you know, one you want as a big Batman fan, for sure. Next one, a Batman 423. Got a couple of these in a 9.8 too. This is probably my favorite McFarlane cover of all time. It's got to be up there for sure. Batman 423, 9.8 white pages in the first print, selling for $2,500. Yeah, this one is just getting very solid prices right now. It's tough to say, like, is it because, you know, there's a lot of Batman fans out there because of the Batman movie right now? I'd be a little careful on paying $2,500 for a Batman 423 in a 9.8. Try to aim closer to $2,000, maybe, you know, in the next 6 months here, kind of the Batman hype lulls a little bit. You get that one closer to $2,000, hopefully. Next one, a Batman Adventures 12, first appearance of Harley Quinn. Both two direct editions selling. One went for $2,921 and another one for $3,050. So I talked about this one, seeing a sale for right around $2,500, and I was like, you know, you want to be on the, keep an eye out for this one on the cooldown, because right around $2,500, I think it's a pretty phenomenal value for a big first appearance. This is a really tough one in a 9.8. But looks like it kind of bounced back pretty fast with these ones going right around $3,000. And if you're the biggest Harley Quinn fan, like even right around $3,000 for a great looking direct edition 9.8 white pages is probably still a price target to aim for. You want to be a little more strategic. You know, closer to $2,500 is hopefully doable moving forward. And that one sale did go for that price. Next one, Batman Beyond #1. Yeah, I got two of these in a 9.8 as well. This one in kind of the first print version, selling in a 9.8 for $1,906. Yeah, this, you know, Batman Beyond #1 coming out in the late 90s, a 1999 comic book. Comic book printing really started to wind down during that period, kind of like the mist of the comic book recession, basically. So Batman Beyond #1 is not very heavily printed. Plus, it's got a huge cult of following of fans. I'm the biggest Batman Beyond fan. Just love the cartoon as a kid and still love the cartoon. I've watched the cartoon a couple times a year still. That first season is just phenomenal. It's all great, to be honest. So Batman Beyond #1 in a 9.8. They've been over 2,000 recently. A couple sales were like 2,200. I think at the peak of the comic book market, this one was like 2,700 or so. So it's 1-to-1. It's pulling back a little bit. $1,906. Probably a price target to aim for, to be honest. If you're just the biggest Batman Beyond fan and you don't have that one, that is the one to get, pretty much. Okay, next one, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns #1, selling for $1,550. This is right in that kind of fair value range. Of note on this one, it was looking pretty solid as far as like the slab and some of the markings on the slab that can kind of take away from the eye appeal of this cover. And you know, my specific copy in the 9.8 has a lot of scuffing on the slab. So mine would probably go like 1,200 and something, but this one going for 1,550 is a pretty solid price for Dark Knight Returns #1 right now. But the slab, yeah, again, the slab was looking pretty solid, so I don't blame whoever went after that one for $1,550. Next, Batman: Vengeance of Bane, origin and first appearance of Bane. This is a great one. One I've kind of ad nauseum have been recommending over the last year. It is just, there's something special about it, like a big Batman villain first appearance, and you don't get very many of them in the modern age, so for me, this is just kind of a sweet spot kind of book. And it's been slowly but steadily just trending up over the last like 2-3 years. This is one that hasn't really spiked up in price, but just slow and steady. And right now, it's pretty much around the all-time highs. This one's selling for $673. I've been seeing in the last month or two, some selling in the kind of $750 range as well. So I think $670, you know, getting into the 600s is a pretty solid deal right now. And again, yeah, we're right around the all-time highs. This one was about $550 to $575 for quite a long time. And now it's, yeah, you're seeing like occasionally some like $750 prices on a Batman: Vengeance of Bane. And for good reason. Yep, this is one to want. Hopefully you can get it. Yeah, $673. Pretty much a price target to aim for, I would say, on this recent sale. Okay, last one here. We'll end with an Ultimate Follow 4 in the first print. Good one to kind of keep an eye on right now with those Across the Spider-Verse movies coming, and this one just really heated up. It's pretty much been kicking around its all-time highs, but a little bit of a pullback. This one's selling for $3,250. So I did mention, like, when they were $3,500, a couple had went over $3,500, and the Across the Spider-Verse teasers just dropped. I'm like, that's probably not the environment. I made quite a few videos in the last month saying that's, you know, you want to be a little patient here. You'll probably save yourself like $300-400. And there was a sale we documented on a few a couple days ago. It was $3,300. This one going for $3,250. Already saving yourself like $200 or $300. And I think this one could get closer to $3,000 on a bit of a lull. But to be honest, at that point, it's absolutely one to buy. Yeah, first appearance of Miles Morales' new Spider-Man is kind of the modern book to get into, invest in, to be honest. So one to target. Hopefully you can get it closer to $3,000 over the next 6 or so months. Okay, that's the full list. I will put the list in the description below with the prices. So you know what? Like, big prices for big key issues. I don't think, you know, the comic book market or the 9.8 comic book market is kind of pulling back or cooling down anymore. It's really, I think the sort of bottom is in about 3, 4 to 5 months ago, I would say. And ever since then, you're just seeing like some pretty stiff prices for big key issues in the 9.8, and yeah, pretty much a full list of big key issues here to prove that. All right, team, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. If you're liking my content, please subscribe and hit that bell, and I'll keep you updated on future videos.